Hey everyone, J-Dan here with Forgiven Felons and Background Check Podcast. And I just wanted to welcome you to the show. And we're changing up things a little bit. Usually Jessa and I are co-hosting the announcements before each episode. And we just feel like we're going to separate that. And Jessa and I are going to have our own separate episode with all the announcements. So what you're going to see from now on is when there's an interview, it's just going to be me coming on and welcoming you and going straight to that interview because we want to spend more time with the people, the guests on the show. And that gives us more time without adding another 30, 45 minutes of announcements to it. And so we want to bring you the fun of Jessa and I as well, because we have fun doing the announcements. We have fun just chopping it up and talking. So we're going to change it up just a little bit. So now when you see interviews, you're just going to see the interviews. But then you're going to see other episodes where me and Jessa are coming on, doing all the announcements and talking about anything from sports, prison, everything. The transitional house, events coming up, prison trips coming up. So this show here is Drew and Cassie Gonzales. Cassie is a worker, is a case manager at the Wayback. You've heard us talking about the Wayback for a long time. We go way back with the Wayback. And there's a very special organization, but her and her husband are on the show today, and they have a very special Jesus story, an incredible way of how they met, funny way of how they met, and their journey through church and their journey through God taking them away from even music, country music, and different things that allowed them to be not fully leaned into God. But we know you're going to relate to some part of either one of their stories. So we pray at the end. So if their story impacts you in any kind of way, send us a note and let us know. And the address to the Wayback is on there. So if you want to write the Wayback and express your gratitude to Cassie for coming on the show and being open and transparent about her life, you could do that as well. But enjoy the show. Don't let your background hold you back. Make it pay you back. Today's guests are a perfect example of coming on a show and not letting what they've been through, their background, hold them back. But we know it's going to change at least one life of you that are watching in prison, in jail, out of prison, wherever you're watching or listening to the show today. We thank you for doing that. Spread the word. Subscribe wherever you can and spread the word. Share the show with somebody you know who needs it, especially the YouTube channel. All right. We love y'all. We're praying for y'all. You're special. And don't let your background hold you back. Make it pay you back. Enjoy the show.
Let's go.
Have you or someone you know had your life turned upside down because of your past?
Of course I have.
Everyone does background checks now, which makes it hard to bounce back.
What do you believe?
I believe your background shouldn't hold you back. It should pay you back. This podcast will inspire you, motivate you, and inform you with everything you need to rise above your past and not be afraid to say, go ahead. Check my background. My name is J-Dan Gum, and this is Background Check.
You already know. Let's go. You can check my background. I'm a forgiven felon, so tell them that I won't back down now. You can bet I won't live in regret. It's time to earn some respect. You are tuning in to Background Check.
Welcome to Background Check Podcast, everybody, where we believe your background shouldn't hold you back. It should pay you back. We're brought to you by Forgiven Felons, helping people with a past realize their future, but we're also brought to you by the Wayback, and like we say it every episode, today we get to say it in a different way because we have very special guests in the house today, and we're just going to get right to it. So we have guests on the show today, Drew and Cassie. How are y'all?
Good.
Glad for y'all to
Excited.
be here. I'm so excited for this, y'all,
Me too.
because I've been wanting to do for 5 years now. You know, I mean, we got Katie and T-Ray on the show a long time ago with the audio, very first, I mean, literally 5 years ago. And we've been wanting to get somebody on from the Wayback for so long. So thank you for carving out the time, and thank you for bringing along another good story with you. So, so let's get this started. But first, Cassie,
Yes.
talk about you and the Wayback. Tell everybody you're the advertisement today.
Yes.
All right. The slide will still be at the end of the show, like always. But Cassie is going to do my part, the part that I usually talk about the Wayback. She's going to do that today. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Go.
Okay, so I work for the Wayback. I'm a case manager there. We provide assistance with people who come out of prison and they don't have a birth certificate, an ID, a social security card. We assist them with getting bus passes to get to and from work. We order clothing for them when they come out because a lot of times, they come out and they don't have anything to wear. So,
all right, let me ask you about the clothing. So you don't have anything in stock. You just, if somebody says, I need some clothes, you will order stuff right then and have them come back up and get it at some point? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we'll order it, and then it usually comes in about a week later. We've got several different vendors that we use, and then we provide hygiene backpacks. We have employment or background-friendly job leads for them because, whenever they come out, they got to get a job. So we do really good at trying to find truly background-friendly places for them to go work. And then we have career training. So people that want to get into trades and get into college, we've got resources to get them connected with that. And, I usually kind of tell them a little bit about my own experience with college. When I got out, I enrolled in school, graduated, got 2 associates, going back, like all that. And then I always use his example because he got out and he got into a trade. And, now he's doing what he does. And it's just good to show experience to both of them from both sides so they understand.
Where'd you go?
I went to Tulsa Community College to get my associates in business. And then I decided to change my career path. And I went to TSTC in Waco and got my associates in applied science for substance abuse counseling. So I'm doing...
Really?
Yeah.
They do that at TSTC?
Yes. Yeah.
Do they do that at the Red Oak campus or just the Waco campus?
I do it online. So I did everything online.
Okay. I know they have a campus in Red Oak where they have welding and some other different things there, but I don't know if they do. That's interesting. And what is it called that you got?
The substance abuse counseling license. So it's a LCDC. Right now, you know what Homeward Bound is?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do.
It works in detox over there.
Oh, cool. I do my internship hours over there right now. So I work for the Wayback.
The one off of Loop 12 and 35?
Yep, in University Hills.
Oh, Greg Miller. You've seen Greg Miller?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Is there a detox position?
There's
Yeah.
Detox,
So
yep.
Greg Miller, he works the detox area at that location.
Yeah, so I worked the Wayback during the day, and then Katie and Miss Wilson kind of worked with me on my schedule so I can finish my intern hours, which I'll be done with those in November. And then
how many hours is that?
300. And then to get fully licensed, it's 4,000 hours. So that's another stretch.
Well, you called the other one a license, so what's the difference between licensed and fully licensed?
So you have the LCDC-I, which is the LCDC internship.
Okay, I got you.
And then you've got your full license. So.
And what's the difference other than pay?
Well, I'm sure when you get fully licensed, it might be a little bit more pay. But my overall goal is to get my master's, my LPC, licensed practitioner or counselor, and practice trauma and substance abuse and mental health. So
okay, so let's debunk a myth right now. I mean, because I always felt like you couldn't be a felon and a licensed counselor. Is that not true?
No, it's not true.
All right.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I
know there are some licensing in Texas that you can't get as a felon. Certain trades or certain things you can't do. You can't go on people's properties, different things. So I know that, but I guess I just didn't. Because Greg, he was a forgiven felon twice, and he did his master's, and then was like waiting for his to come in, and he got a last DWI. Oh. And so he was worried about whether they were going to revoke his license or not. Mm-hmm. And so but they didn't. And so he's got his master's and has all that other stuff. So
I think that you have to have a period of time. So like, for instance, if you were to get an RN license and you have a background, you've got to be clear like 5 years and then go before the board of nursing and do all that. But I've got I've got time. So whenever, that time rolls around for me, and
Gotcha.
I'm actually probably going to look into it a little bit more.
How long is it taking you? Like this, the classes and everything, and then the 300 hours. How many hours you get in a week, and how long is that 300 hours taking you?
That 300 hours has taken me since June, and I will be done at the end of November. So
Okay, that's not bad.
yeah, not too bad
What
for
about all
300.
the classes and everything? You got to take English and algebra and all that stuff too, or no?
Well, I did that before when I got my associates in business, so
Okay.
that was kind of already taken care of. So I was able to transfer over. So once I went back for the associates in applied science for counseling, it was like 2 years, 18 months, something like that, to finish those courses. Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm like all about recovery. Love it.
I'm wondering because I do so much counseling. I'm just
yeah.
like, man, if I just had some kind of little piece of paper, I might be able to get paid for it. You
I
know,
feel
who
like
knows?
a counselor at the way back anyways. But
Yeah, you are.
I
mean,
am.
and I am, and
Yeah.
it's like, man, might as well get paid for it.
yeah,
So it's easier than hanging Christmas lights
yeah,
on top of a ladder. So give that to the younger guys.
yeah.
All right, Drew, what do you do?
I am a master plumber in the state of Texas.
Okay, I need to look at the camera right now and say I apologize for his outfit. So I know, it's going to be hard to believe anything that's coming out of his mouth. But yeah, we'll try. And so Cassie did not warn me that he was going to be showing up in this outfit. But that's okay. We got enough Steelers stuff in here to cover. So, I mean, do we want to talk about the tie at all with Green Bay Packers? I mean, what's up with that? Y'all just switch,
Hey, it's better.
y'all just switch defensive players and end up giving us a tie?
It was better than a loss officially.
Yeah. I think Jerry was okay with the tie as long as he didn't lose.
I didn't like it. I stayed up.
To me, a tie is worse than a loss. To me.
I stayed up so late for nothing.
Okay, so I went to bed at halftime
Yeah,
because I thought the Packers had this game handled. I'm like,
yeah.
it's over. I'll wake up in the morning and see 40 to whatever, and I wake up and I see 40-40 tie. And I'm like, God, I'm so glad I didn't stay up and watch that.
Yeah.
Because that would have been horrible. All right.
Yeah,
so,
it was definitely a shootout, but hey, and then when they play, they can hear me cheering.
And that clap. It's got that loud clap.
that Jason Garrett clap. You remember Jason Garrett was talking about- All right. So you're a plumber?
Yes, sir. A master plumber. I just became a master. It's been a little over a month. I think it was the end of August. But it's
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now I see why she wants to get her master. So you're not the only one in the house that can be called master.
The
right?
master couple, yes.
Okay. All right. So how long you been plumbing?
I've been plumbing I got into it in 2015, so this will make it 10 years. 10 years in the industry, and it took about that long to get the master's.
Is that normal? Is that how long it should take, or did you get early, slower, what?
It officially on paper it takes 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah, the way the structure of.
So it's a little slower than normal,
Oh yeah.
but that's just because of the cowboy. I get it. All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. You're connecting all the dots for me. So, all right. Well, y'all been together for 10 years?
Yeah. Since December of 2015.
That's when you started your plumbing journey. How did y'all meet?
Well, we kind of had some mutual friends from back then, and we just reconnected, seen each other on Facebook, reconnected.
From your old life. You had some friends from your mutual friends
Yeah,
from your
mutual
old
friends
life.
from the old life.
And so y'all started somehow just all hanging out, and you got
Yeah, started
y'all did
talking.
know each other. You did know each other from your old life, or you just had
We
mutual
didn't personally know each other, but I've seen her.
You knew of each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, from mutual friends and stuff. I had a friend named Allison that I used to run around with, and kind of knew him from that whole crowd. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And then what made y'all like who initiated the first like?
It was actually a Facebook poke. You remember those?
Oh my God! Every once in a while, there's this one lady that keeps poking me once a year. She'll poke me, and I don't even know her. But once a year. It's really weird because I looked and it's not more than once a year. So I don't know if she's got like an automatic thing on there, but She's the only one that still does that.
That's
Yeah.
Does that anymore?
I didn't even know it was still.
Yeah, it's still there.
on there.
And I think they moved it around too, so you could almost accidentally poke somebody.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
because
don't even know where it's at anymore.
yeah, it's on there. It's crazy.
Yeah. So
All right, so Facebook poke.
that's it. And then when she poked me back, and that's when hey, you're.
This is pretty funny, y'all.
Yeah. So that was it. I just initiated the conversation.
At
That
that
was it.
time, I was living in Oklahoma. I had just got out, fresh out, a couple of months, and
Did you
know,
do time in Oklahoma or in Texas?
in Texas.
Okay.
So I did time here, and then I paroled out to Oklahoma to my mom's house. And we just started talking, and then we kind of started meeting up. I drove to Dallas, and he would come to Tulsa, and we just kind of went from there. We went through some stuff and some battles, but we got kids now and a whole
Yeah.
family. And
How long did it take y'all before you realized it was serious and going to be something more permanent?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
It took a while. It did take a while because I was drinking at the time. He was drinking at the time. And there was just a lot of... We hadn't settled down enough in our
Okay.
life to make
Okay.
right decisions. So
Right.
I would say about 3 years. 3 years. 3 or 4.
So you met. You met while you were in your old life.
Yeah, so I got out, clean from drugs, never did anything, but then I started drinking.
So you went back.
I went
You
back.
Went back to your old life.
Yeah,
a
I
little
went
bit.
back
Okay.
to the old life. Told myself it was okay because it was legal.
Yeah.
That whole spill and
It's only one or two.
yeah, and then it just got out of control from there. But I would say probably about the end of 2018 is what it took for us to both really realize hey, we're getting older. If we want to be together, this is what we got to do, and let's just do it, and that's it. And so that's what we did, and it's been we've been solid since then.
Okay. All right. So you got out. You got out when?
In 2015, the day before Thanksgiving.
And you got out when?
September of 2013.
Okay. All right. So you were almost 2 years ahead of her as far as getting out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go back a little bit further.
Okay.
You grew up in Oklahoma?
Yep, grew up in Oklahoma.
How many siblings? Were you like cheerleader or sports? What were you in high school?
Well, I have a story about that. So I grew up in a little bitty town called Natura. My whole school was like one building. I think they started expanding before I left. Pre-K through 8th grade, 10 kids in a class. Very, very country. And my mom and my dad were divorced, so my mom lived in Tulsa. My dad raised me out in the country. I have a sister. She's 30 now, and she lived with my mom. So she had a different dad, but she lived with my mom, and, I got to go to my mom's, every other weekend. She was in her own addiction, so it was a little tough, as far as that went. But come high school, I got a little wild. Started getting into a lot of trouble. Went through the juvenile system thing, got put on probation with them, had to do community service at a homeless shelter when I was 15 or 16, something like that. And then I ran away when I was 15, and I just...
Where'd you go?
Friends. When I was 16, I met this girl, worked at a Quick Trip. And I met this girl that worked there. Her and her mom let me come live with them. And it was just chaos. My whole childhood really was chaos. And then, my dad, I remember I was working at this diner. And my dad came up there one day and he was like, look, dude, we got to figure something out because you can't live like this.
Yeah.
And, so he ended up sending me down to Texas with my aunt, my mom's sister. And, she became like my mom. she really did everything she could to raise me. And, you know, we have a great relationship. And even today, my kids call her Nana. Like, you know, it's really good. But that's how I ended up down here. I was just really wild when I was a teenager and caused all kinds of chaos and wreckage and stuff like that.
So you weren't into sports, cheerleading, none of that in high school, just partying?
No sports in high school, nothing like that. I was, you know, really I was smoking weed and doing things that I shouldn't have been doing when I was in high school. So, yeah.
Just partying.
Partying.
Okay. Drew, what was your upbringing like, man? What?
So I'm from Dallas, but I was raised in Oak Cliff, in the Oak Cliff area.
Like what streets?
Hampton and Keast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I grew up in Hampton, Illinois.
Yeah, that's where. Yeah, it's kind of the same area, but yeah, my childhood was kind of similar. I grew up with a single mother, and my dad was in Waco, Texas at the time, and the first early years of my childhood, it was good, you know, but there was a lot of addiction in my mom's, and so, but you know, it lasted for a little while, and then you know, I became exposed early into drugs, and I started smoking weed probably around 13, and then that was it. It was, when they say it's a gateway, I believe it was. And, you know, I was in the 7th grade. I mean, you know, that lifestyle is just, in the city's totally different. It's so fast, you're moving. It's just, you know, we didn't have a lot of money.
Where'd you go to high school?
I actually moved to Waco right before I was gonna go to high school.
Gotcha.
So I went to middle school, Griner Middle School, and yeah, I mean, by the time I was in the 8th grade, going to the 8th grade, I stopped going to school, and it was just, you know, I was just headed towards, you know, nothing great. So my dad had called me, and he was like, "Hey man, you know, you need to try to come down here with me, and maybe you can at least finish high school." And so I wound up moving down there. Initially, it was pretty good, but then I took my habits down to Waco, and it just turned into the same thing. Drinking, smoking. By the time I'm 15, my senior prom, through the high school, and then I was experimenting with coke and stuff like it. It was just so bad, man. And me and my dad's relationship, it didn't get any better because he never drank or smoked. So I took all that to his house. We bumped heads, but and then I had my first daughter. She got conceived around my senior prom. So yeah, that's how it grew up. It moved fast, and I had to grow up pretty fast. Right after I graduated high school, so that was a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but right after that, I had to get to work. So yeah, that was kind of how it was.
So Cassie, when did you find yourself into the lifestyle and the things that led you to incarceration?
Well, you know, when I would go to my mom's house, I was kind of, you know, same thing. I was exposed at a young age to a lot of stuff. And I know she's going to watch this, so sorry if I say some of the things that you don't know about. But anyways,
I'm still telling my mom about things that she doesn't know.
I drank my first beer and smoked my first joint and cigarette when I was 11. She had taken me to my cousin's house out in a little town called Yale, Oklahoma. My stepdad was really bad on meth, and it was just, you know, more chaos.
Yeah.
So, you know, I started seeing how that made me feel, and I kind of held on to that. And, you know, my dad, he is an airplane mechanic, so he kind of was not, I mean, he was there, he raised me, but he was at work a lot.
Right.
So it was just me and my stepmom there, and, you know, we did not have the best relationship for a very long time. So, I started, you know, taking my mom's pain pills and bringing them with me to my dad's, and then bringing Tylenol PM and doing all kinds of stuff to just kind of sleep my time away over there.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to Texas, I just got even worse. I was smoking, I was taking pills, I was doing everything. And then I went to county. I turned 21 in county, and then I stayed there for almost a year. Got out, met my daughters, my 14-year-old. I met her dad, and then, we had her. And then when she was about 1, that's when I started getting bad on pain pills again. And then, it was just downhill from there. I violated probation. I mean, sent to ISF, released out to the streets again with no address to go to. I had burnt all my bridges, put a warrant out for my arrest, and then within like 6 months, or 3 months maybe, I was going on my way to TDC. So she was about 18 months when that happened. When I got out, she was almost 5.
Wow.
So, yeah, long.
Man.
Yeah, so.
She's 14 now?
Yep, she's 14 now. It was a big struggle because the whole time I was in there, my dad would, send me money every once in a while. I mean, $20 here and there. Again, I had burnt every bridge because of my choices. So I didn't really, I had to do what I had to do. And no mail, no visits, no phone calls. It was very humbling, and it's exactly what I needed to change my life.
What unit were you on, or multiple units?
So I started off in Plain State, and then I ended up going to Marlin Transfer Unit, and then I ended up at the Crane Trustee Camp.
Okay.
So I spent the majority of my time at the trustee camp, and that's really where I met God. I had known God my whole life. My grandpa, my grandma, they were, very religious and stuff like that. But I never really knew what the relationship was like until I was by myself with only God.
Yeah.
That's all I had. So, it was tough.
What was that, a moment? Was that just a season? Was it a church service? Was there a guest speaker? Where did you, how did that transition and that mindset change and heart change take place?
I think it was the music.
Okay.
I washed whites, pressed whites, that sort of thing to kind of make store.
Okay.
So I had me like a little radio that I had gotten from someone, and it was kind of the music ministering to me. And I was like, dang, I can hear something there, and it's something that I want,
So you were intentionally listening to Christian music?
Yeah.
K-Love, did you have K-Love back then?
I think so, yeah.
I listened to K-Love on all the units I was on.
Yeah, so I, that's kind of where I found it. And then I started going to the services. I tried going to AA, and it's funny because I got an AA book while I was in there, right? The big book. And I went to these meetings, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is cool. But I never really got it, right? Until I stopped drinking. I got out, and I started drinking and all that. I had kind of my own moment of clarity, and I started going back, and I still had that book throughout all these times, moving and, life and kids and all of that. I still held on to that same AA book. And now I live by that program.
So you found God in prison, but when you got out, you slipped.
Yeah.
You slipped up and you went back. Okay, and it was eventually probably God working through the 12-step program, and the big book, that helped you come back. Because I tell people all the time, you hear so many people, I don't need 12 steps, and everybody else they swear by 12 steps. I'm like, whatever God wants to use to draw you to Him, He can use. It may be for some, it may be a 12-step program. Some others, it might be something different. My dad quit cold turkey. And I say I quit cold turkey because I got arrested, and then I was never around it anymore. So I didn't really purposely quit cold turkey, but He kept me in long enough for me to experience that cold turkey quit. And then after a while, I mean, if I'd have gotten out a year after I was locked up, I probably would have gone back.
Yeah.
But I needed that full 3 years to be away from it, So that's interesting. I love that. I went to AA when I got my life right, and I was going to AA. But I just kept saying Jesus and all this stuff, and the free world volunteer would come say, "Hey man, let's try not to say Jesus." And I'm like, "Well, he said doorknob. If he said doorknob, why can't I say Jesus?" And I quit going for a while.
Yeah.
But then the Holy Spirit said, "No, I want you to be there. I want you to be there." And so just be there.
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, all right." So I went, and I just kept showing up, and I made some really good connections after that. And so I love AA. I love NA. I love anything that is meant to be a program or a map, a roadmap to getting better.
Yeah.
Because we're all in recovery
Yeah.
from something.
Yep.
I'm in recovery from yesterday. Yesterday was hard on me. I'm in recovery from this morning. I got 2 phone calls this morning. The guy that we're getting out to our house got rerouted by TDCJ to a different place, and now he's not where he's supposed to be, but it's not his fault. He's not out, but he's discharging, so they can't keep him overnight. So they got to let him go, so he's being let out at this weird time. And then I get a call from another friend, and his 14-year-old daughter got arrested. And I'm just like, man, I'm in recovery from this morning.
Yeah.
So we're all in recovery from something. So when someone tells me I'm not in recovery from something, I'm like, what? No, come on. Jesus was the only one that didn't need recovery from anything,
Yeah.
But okay, so once you got out and then you got clean and sober, then you've been going strong ever since.
Yep. Been going strong ever since. Yeah. Well,
When's your sobriety date?
let me go back a
Okay,
little bit
go back.
because, I would still drink here and there. Like, I started working at Quick Trip again, right? And I had to work overnights here and there, and then I'd come home and I'd drink and go to sleep. And then it kind of spiraled. He had stayed in AA, so he was still he was still in recovery doing his thing. And I was drinking, and anyways, my sobriety date is May 20th of 23.
Awesome.
So it's been
That's awesome.
2.5 years.
Congratulations.
But yes. Yeah.
So proud of you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's that stigma. People think that it's okay. It's just alcohol. But for me, I think that's probably the worst thing that has been the most detrimental to me.
Yeah.
Overall. I've tried everything. I've done everything. I mean, I've been homeless. I have literally been, through hell. And the mental torment of, the shame, the guilt, the remorse, all that was worse for me than anything else I had ever done. So it feels good to be clear-minded and sober and full of Christ. And,
Amen.
it's just, it's a good life.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, Drew, let's pick up where you left off.
So kind of picking up where I left off. I mentioned, having my daughter at an early age. Through that time when my daughter was born, her mother and I were heavily into drinking and using. So I was experimenting with hardcore drugs early in my age, 18, 19, and then, oh man, by the time I turned 21, that was it. I was already exposed to everything up until 21, and then I started going to jail. So that's what, I didn't realize it was a problem until I started, the first time getting locked up, I was like, oh, I'll just go sit it out. Tickets were never a thing. I'll just, the public intoxication, that wasn't nothing. Oh man, just keep me in here. I'll sit it out. I was young and I didn't care. But as time went on, when I hit 21, I was in Waco hitting all the bars up, and God, man. And then I just kept getting arrested, man. I would DWI. They put me on probation. I would make it a few months, and I just kept drinking, and I would violate. I would go to jail. 30 days. 40 days or whatever it was, you know. But yeah, I mean, and that I was using really a lot. I was experiencing with Xanax bars, fighting, you know, and in the meantime, you know, my last thing was trying to be a father, and of course, I was just worried about having a good time, wasting, just, oh man, you know, we all have regrets, but that was what my life was at the time, you know, and then by the time I'm 24, 25. I've been to jail so many times. I caught my second DWI around that time. You know, been a trustee, worked in the kitchen, knew the guards. You know,
what units?
No, I mean, this was county.
County jail. What county? Dallas.
No, this was all Waco.
Oh,
yeah, McLennan County, man. So, yeah, and then it was around, you know, I went up going to jail a lot, and then in 2018 is when I really caught my third DWI. No, sorry, let me back up. I'm sorry. I saw I was fighting, stuff like that. So I went to prison in 2011 because they put me on probation for 5 years, and I only made it 6 months because I was still partying. I actually went on the run for a little bit, and I was just, dude, I don't know where I was. I was just so lost, man, so lost. And I remember a friend of mine, when I was on the run, I was just, my PO had said, yeah, man, they'll come get you. Just don't worry about it. So I said, okay, well, can I leave still? So she let me leave. And she just knew. She goes, well, you're nice dressed, and you look good. You can afford an attorney. And I remember that's the last thing she told me. And she let me walk out. She said, the warrant will be out. If you had the warrant out right now, I would take you in, but I'm going to revoke you. But you can go on. You know, I said, okay. So I left, and I was like, and then that time was probably the worst time, knowing that I was going to go to jail. I was going to go to prison. Oh, that was the worst I've ever been. I had nothing to lose. I was doing everything, drinking, coke, I mean, just everything. And I remember I was in TSTC, and it was all-nighter, partying, blah, blah, blah. And they came and got me, man. The U.S. Marshals came and got me. And they kicked down the door, and right before I went in, I took a Xanax bar. So I was hoping, like, maybe I could sleep the first 3 days. And like that was my life, and that was back in 2011, and they sentenced me to 5 years TDC. So yeah, and then that was it.
Where'd you end up? Where'd you do how many years did you do?
So I stayed in county for 6 months. Had a lot of back time because they would make me do 90 days here, and so by the time I only went to Hutchins. So I went to Hutchins unit, stayed out there. I did a total of almost 2.5 years. And right before I was after my time was almost up, the 2-year minimum at the transfer, I made parole. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I experienced God myself. My mom, I knew God was real because when I mentioned in my earlier in my story, my mom, she recovered, and she's been clean almost 20 years now. And I seen the power of God work in her life and turn her life around. So I knew there was something, because she would always tell me, son, you got to slow down, you know, look at me. And she would always try to tell me, and God, when me growing up, I knew God was real. If he can change my mom, I know there's something out there. So, yeah, I mean, when I was in prison, kind of like her, I mean, my mom was the only one there. I mean, the girlfriend, I didn't have anybody, you know.
It's weird how they all leave.
I mean, I didn't have anybody, you know. And my mom, she would come see me. It wouldn't be every weekend, but she would come see me. And she would be the only one to put money on my books. You know, my aunt, she held some money for me. She'll put it in there for me. But yeah, other than that, man, my mom was the only one that was there. And through my time in prison, you know, I never got mail from my mom. You know what I mean? I remember, I'll never forget, my daughter came and seen me, and I think that was my turning point, when I really felt like I needed to do something different. She was 7 years old, and my mom brought her to see me, and after the visit, we get our snacks and blah blah blah. And I remember when it was time to go back, I'll never forget seeing her. We both looked at each other, and I was going through one way, she was going the other way, and that broke my heart. And to this day, I can never forget that moment where we're going separate ways. And I think after that is when I really tried to get closer to God. I started going to fall out to church, and I don't know if you know Pastor Reed, but him, Katie, I mean, all the volunteers would always just come down there, and those people are the ones that made a difference in my life. So getting out, I wish I could say that I stay close to God, but it's a fast. I always tell people to this day that the real test is when the rubber meets the road, and I stayed good for a little while. I stayed sober for a little bit, but within 6 months, man, I was back experimenting.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick, guys, because y'all know, we run a transitional house. Mm-hmm. You work with people coming out all the time. I've actually had conversations with you about people who go off the deep end after months after we get them out and get them on the right track. So we can't speak for everybody else, but speak for y'all, because both of y'all had said you found God in prison. That's kind of where you kind of got on the right track with your faith journey. So then what happens when we get out? What happens? Is it a people, places, and things? Is it a mindset? Is it a product of our environment? What is it for each one of y'all that, looking back reflectively, why do you think, why do people, why did Cassie, why did Drew slip back into some things that, you got it?
Yeah, can I say, I'll go first. Right. And I can honestly say, for me, and I always tell anybody else getting out of prison, music.
Ooh, okay.
Music. Music is the most powerful thing that influences me.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying, to explain to explain that in depth is what I'm saying is what happened to me is I started listening to the things I used to party to. So that changes. I mean, it feeds you spiritually, your thoughts, and for me, but that was, if you ask me what happened, it was that. I started listening to things, the things I grew up on, Oak Cliff, the streets, just all the gangster rap music, what influenced me. And all the stuff I used to party to, I started putting I started putting it on my music at the time. I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah.
And that's what influenced me. By that, it was I'm back in the bars, listening to the same music.
Wow.
And then me being an alcoholic, and this is just that one drink. That's it. Off to the races.
Wow, dude. That's thank you for your honesty, because a lot of people refuse to believe that music has that kind of impact on them. And even when I have conversations with guys at the house, and they're like, I'm going through this. What are you listening to? What does that have to do with anything? What are you listening to? Mm-hmm. I'm angry all the time. What do you listen to? Oh, I listen to, and they'll say rock music or something, Yeah. And I'm like, change your music for a couple of weeks. See if you notice a difference, Oh, I'm depressed all the time. What do you listen to? Country music. Change the music for a little bit. Change it for a couple of weeks. Try something different. Mm-hmm. That's why I love what you said earlier, because you said music impacted you. Yeah. That got you closer to God. Mm-hmm. I went through a similar journey in prison. After I came back to God, that's one thing I didn't change. I didn't change my music right away. I still listen. I'm a huge Kid Rock fan. Mm-hmm. And so in prison, whenever a Kid Rock song would come on, I would be up dancing. All the other guys were like, what are you doing? I'm like, man, it's Kid Rock. You don't understand, And so, but at one moment, what I noticed was the Holy Spirit said to me, notice whenever a song comes on that you used to listen to, notice what triggers in your heart and mind.
Mm-hmm.
Take notice. I started writing it down. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
Almost every song was tied to a memory of my old ways.
Yep.
Whether it was a girl, a one-night stand, some kind of whatever. Everything was tied to a part of my old life. And so for me, he showed me, was that music was the devil was using music to help keep me tied to my old ways.
Mm-hmm.
And God said, if you don't change your music, if you don't cut, then you're going to have this piece of your old ways always attached to you. And that's what it was for me. I had to change. I didn't like it because I grew up in the cheesy Christian music days. I'm 54. So, I mean, we had Christian music from the 70s and 80s and early 90s, which was just, ugh. Now Christian music has all styles and all genres that competes with anything that we used to listen to. And I love it, whether it's rock, rap, whatever. But back then, man, it was tough. And I was one of those ones that didn't want to admit how much, but when he made me do that, write down what I'm thinking about when that song comes on, I'm like, dang, this music's got me in my old ways, man. It's got me in my old thought patterns. So
Sure.
Thank you. All right. What about you?
I would agree with that. Definitely the music. Like I said before, it influenced me, right? I just felt something different. And whenever I listen to like DJ Screw or all these things, like I can feel that different feeling.
Yeah.
So, I kind of did the same thing. I changed the stuff that I listen to. I don't listen to country anymore because it makes me want to drink. It triggers me to drink, and me being aware of that helps me to not do it because I don't ever want to go back to that life.
Mm-hmm.
I can't listen to country. I won't do it. So what I did was I found those styles, but they're of God. So Brian Trejo, Young Bro, Lucky Luciano, all those, that's what I listen to.
Have you found any good country Christian music?
Ann
Wilson, you know who Ann Wilson is?
No.
You gotta listen to
I just completely cut country out. I should try it.
I get it. I don't like any more country either. But man, when I found Ann Wilson, because somebody sent me a song, and like, we thought of you whenever we heard this song, and it's a song. She has a song about mentions Jack Daniels, and it talks about songs about whiskey is the name of this. But now she in the song she just talks about why I write about things that I love, and I used to love Jack Daniels and whiskey, but now I write about things I love, and so nice. So it's a really cool song. And then I was like, oh, let me see what else this lady does, because this is country and I love it, and her whole album, she's got one called Rebel, and you need to. I will. What I started doing. I love how we've kind of morphed into this music talk because it's important. It's very important. What I started doing was I knew my weaknesses too. And so I had to be careful with some of the Christian music that made me think of the old songs.
Yeah. Yes.
And I had to be careful of that. So I steered away from them until I got stronger. Yeah. At this point in my life, I don't care what the music is. If it's not going to affect me in a negative way anymore. And the stronger the more you resist something, the more I do a curl. The more I do a curl and put weight in resistance, the stronger my muscle gets. The more I say no to my old music, the more I say no to my old ways, the stronger I get over it. And then I can hear it and it not trigger me. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
But even when I first started, even Christian rap would trigger me to some old rap that I used to listen to, and so I had to be careful. But now I can listen to anything and everything, and I'm just smart enough to know now that I don't need a steady diet of that old way music. I'm not triggered by it anymore, so that lets me know I've matured. But man, there's so much good Christian music now.
Oh, I know.
So,
and it's they got styles to fit everybody, so. You don't got to listen to stuff rapping about money and drugs and all these things. Like, you've got artists out there that glorify God that have lived the same lives that we have that, sing about recovery. Somebody that we both love, Joe Nestor, we love him.
Oh, man.
It's just that's just a great example of somebody changing their life, regardless of what happened.
Yeah. I hate that we're not going to get any more new music from him. It's
he was
hurt.
great.
Yeah, it did. It did. I know Prison Nation really loved him too.
Yeah, we
loved him. So
it's very powerful, because you can hear that genuine, like, reform and that change, and it's just, So music, definitely. I wouldn't say the people, places, and things for me, because when I got out, I didn't go around none of that. I was in a completely different area, but I was still listening to the music when I got out and all that stuff. And then I said, oh, okay, one drink is okay, and that's where it started. So, just basically what you're feeding your mind. That's kind of what I think. So
yeah, I like it. And even I go as far in the house too. As far as what the guys watch on TV.
For sure.
And even the games they play. There was somebody one time, we allow them to have like an Xbox or whatever. And I was just, every once in a while, I go through all the, movies and stuff that are there. And I found, I don't know, a video game. It had a high mature rating on it. And it said it had nudity in it. Mm. And so I was just like, hey guys, who's this? And I'm like, we can't have it in the house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? Like, well, because of this. Like, oh, well, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't matter whether it affects you or not. It's in the house.
Yeah. It's
in the house. So it may not trigger you to do anything or just say anything or think anything, but it may have a trigger on somebody else's, And so yeah, it's important. So I'm glad that was cool. I'm glad both of y'all said that, because it's not always. I mean, it was about the things for you, not necessarily people and places, because you were just by yourself. You'd come home, and it would just be the drinking or the listening to music. So, but it's not always about all three.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just about. But the problem is when we give in to one of them, eventually it's going to progress into all of them.
Now, I definitely do think people, places, and things are real. Like, I tell everybody that if I was to go live in Waco, it would be a very big struggle for me.
Yeah.
Not saying that, I ever have that even in my mind, because I would never even go back to Waco. I could handle it, but surrounding yourself by those people, places, and things, running into them constantly, it's going to tempt you to think that one time is okay.
Yeah.
And, that's where it falls. So, when I have people come into my office and they're like, I'm not from here, I'm like, good, let's get you going and get you connected with people, because you don't need to go back where you were.
Yeah, we just dealt with that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, he's doing good. He texted us all. And
I talked to him the other day.
He's in Louisiana, or he's in Mississippi, I guess, headed to Louisiana, working with his, stepdad, his sister and brother's dad. He came down with him. He's the one who drove his mom and everybody down here. So it's good. And he showed us. He's like, I'm still going to get this book published. I'm still going to get, these shoes made. I'm still going to do all this. I'm like, that's good, man. It sounds like you're right where you need to be.
Yeah.
Because you're away from West Dallas.
Yes.
And you needed to be away from West Dallas. Because if you were here, you'd still be trying to go to West Dallas.
Yeah.
And he admitted to it. He was like, yeah, you're probably right. But, his mom just didn't want him to come to Mississippi. So.
Yeah. She wants what's best for him, too, so.
I know.
Mamas know best. Speaking of mothers, I love his mother.
Yeah?
She is literally like my own mother. She's been, like, so great for me. She's, I have my mom and I have my stepmom, and, now I have great relationships with both of them, but his mother has really touched my life, and so everything that he says about her is like 100% true, because I love her so much. I call her mom. She's very active in our kids' lives. They're actually over there right now. Hey, for the weekend.
Yeah, all right. Date weekend.
Yeah, so, yeah, I just wanted to say that. I love her so much. She's really great, and I could not have asked for a better mother-in-law, because, she treats me like her own. And that's kind of what I've always looked for.
Yeah.
Growing up was, somebody to hold me accountable and guide me and give me the wisdom that I needed to be a mother. So yeah, love
That's
her.
awesome. How many kids y'all have together?
We have 2 together, and then 3 other kids.
Now tell me about your 2
Yep.
or
2.
3. 2 together?
So we have 5 all
5
together.
altogether. 3
Yep.
3 blended, 2 of your own.
Yep. 3 blended, 2 of your own. Got a 5-year-old girl, 8-year-old girl. We got a 9-year-old son, and then we have 14-year-old and then 19-year-old Gabby.
All right.
So yeah, big family. Love them all.
Yes. Only one boy out of all those.
I know,
Yeah.
and I love him so much. He's
Little
exactly
Drew.
what I needed.
Little Drew.
Yeah, little Drew. He kind of just, goes around the house, does his own thing, surrounded by all the girls, and, he just does not have time for anybody. And thankfully,
Okay, so the 14 and 19-year-old.
Yeah.
So they're old enough to know both of y'all's stories.
Yes, they're very aware.
What do they think about everything, and are they proud of who you are now? And
Oh, I would
I'll
say
let him go first.
I would say definitely. My daughter is what I mentioned earlier in the story is she's the main one that have seen it all. She loves the better me today, of course. She's the one that has seen from the beginning to now. So she always tells me how proud she is of me and us because she's been around since she was
10.
Yeah. So she's seen a drastic change in our lives. Not only just not using and drinking, but just our lifestyles and how we are. We don't have as much character defects like we used to. But yeah, she's and then our 14-year-old, she sees a huge change in her, and yeah, it's just they're extremely grateful, and then we're financially better than because when you're doing all them things, we could not.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes hand in hand. Being broke and using it's just crazy. But now, we're blessed enough to know we can financially make grown decisions like we didn't used to. We used to just be idiots. But today, they see the difference. We can, they got good clothes, just the things. We got food in the fridge, and that's all we need. And that wasn't the case back then. So,
do they ever have any questions for y'all about, your old ways and maybe how it relates to maybe something they're going through or being tempted with? Or, I mean, do you have to sit down with them and say, look, I was headed down this right? Or are they just good, perfect things?
So, you know what?
No.
To be honest, my past was so intense and bad that even my younger sister, and then my daughter, the oldest one, 19, they can see where it can lead to. Mm-hmm. And I think it's provided a positive impact on their lives. Like, man, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to go down that road. My brother, I know she doesn't even think about doing anything like that. And my daughter, she's going to be young. We're all young. If she wants to do what she knows what it could lead to.
Right.
So I think it's not, it's impacted them in a positive way. Even though they went through it, the bad years, I can honestly say they can see where it leads to, and I think
that's
they
good.
They don't want to do it.
I like that.
Yeah, so then in my 14-year-old, she, so I got out when she was almost 5.
Yeah.
She lived with her dad's mother, while I was gone, because he was gone too. And, it was a battle getting out. It was a battle of, they thought I was still doing some of the stuff that I was doing before, and it was a lot of like proving and control and bondage, and things took a turn later on down the road, and my daughter didn't ever want to live with me because she was listening to everything that was going on, and it was really hard. But I told her, like, the moment you want to live with me, you let me know, because God will make a way regardless if it is His will. And just last year, or was it the year before? No, it was last year. Over the summer, things got really bad over where her grandma was. Her dad was staying there. He was still in addiction. It was starting to get brought into the house around her. And she was like, Mom, I want to come with you. And I was like, say less. Let's do this. And, you know, at that time in my life, I didn't know how I was going to pay for a lawyer because they charge like $10,000 now. And only God, I'm telling you, this lady called me and said, I heard about your story from a friend. I want to represent your daughter.
Wow, are you serious?
I'm so serious. And I was like, well, I don't have the money. Like, I'm going to go pro se, prove myself to the judge, give them my own packet. Like, I'm going to do everything. And she was like, no, you can pay me payments and I'm going to discount it. Like, and she let me do that. And she walked in there with me beside her and she got my daughter back. And I know it's because I truly got sober. Yeah. I truly developed a relationship with God, and I truly surrendered my whole life and my will over to Him. And
when you do that, good things happen.
Everything. Yeah. I mean, the whole life has just changed. So, you know, when she came over here, things were a little rough. She was drinking while she was over there. She was smoking weed while she was over there, and she's 14, and I seen myself in her. And I was like, damn, Cheyenne, like, you're going to end up just like me. You can't do this. Like, we got to do some changes. And I remembered, like, this is the time for you to be a parent, not a friend. And we came together.
That's so good. Remind me to say something to you after you finish your thought.
Okay. So, you know, we came together, you know, because he's me. Like, you know, we got to do this together. And we did it. We put ground rules and discipline. And when she did things she wasn't supposed to do, she had repercussions. And I can say to right now, she has done a complete change.
Wow.
You know, she's got good friends. She's doing good in school. She signed herself up for JROTC.
Wow.
Like, a complete change. And I think being transparent about our past and her seeing it from not just me, but her dad too, it's made her realize, like, if I don't do something different now, like, I'm going to end up just like that. And so, you know, all we can do is pray and continue to guide her and be the parents. So.
That's so good. So good. Yeah. Two things. Number one, you know, our kids, my girls know everything about our past. I mean, they know everything that outside of some of the just details on sexual stuff, they know all the bad stuff, the drugs, alcohol, jail time, prison time, DWIs. They know, they can tell you my story. But I just wonder, like, just knowing about it by hearing about it, is that the same as seeing it play out in real life and having the same effect? And so because I told my wife, I said, I want to tell them everything so that they have every opportunity to remember that when they get tempted to go a certain way or whatever. So I'll sit down and, I mean, I'll have talks with them about everything, guys, and tell them all the, just everything, all the slang vulgarities that they're going to start hearing at school.
Yeah.
I'd rather them hear it from me. You can look at me all you want as a 12-year-old and think I'm a weird dad saying all this weird stuff in front of you, but you're going to hear it on the playground. You're going to hear it at recess. You're going to hear it in the gym. You're going to hear it somewhere else. And when you hear it, I don't want you to be awkward there because you've already heard about it from your dad. And so, so the other thing too is the parenting thing. So I heard Andy Stanley. I don't know if you know who Andy Stanley is. He's a preacher in Atlanta. And he has a really good marriage seminar type deal. And my wife and I were listening to him one day, and he said there's 4 stages of parenting. And he said 0 to 5 are the discipline years. He said if you ever just wonder, and we wondered with our girls, you know, we were spanking them every day, you know, some type of little spanking every day, you know. And he said if you ever wonder why, like, you feel like you're disciplining your kid every day, it's because 0 to 5 are the discipline years. They're very necessary. You need to discipline your kids in these years. 6 to 12 are the training years. This is where you start morphing out of always disciplining them to teaching them. Teaching them the why this is wrong. 0 to 5, newborn to 5 is just really 1 to 5, is just telling them, no, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. 6 to 12 is when you start sitting down having conversations about why it's wrong. But then still discipline them a little bit, but mostly training years. You're teaching them all the stuff, and even science lines up with that, because they say ages are 4th grade to like 6th grade, or 3rd grade to 6th grade are like the formative years where they're forming all the way they're going to make decisions later on in life. They're forming them right now in 1st to 6th grade. So then he said 13 to 18 is the coaching years.
I see that.
And he said, you must be a coach. You can't skip this. You have to be a coach. And a coach sometimes has to get loud, sometimes has to discipline, sometimes has to train. The coach has to be everything that you already were. The disciplinarian, the trainer, the teacher. You have to do all this. But if you ever go watch a coaching practice, there's going to be yelling, there's going to be screaming, there's going to be, sometimes there's game film. You're just watching film. But you got to be the coach. And if you don't, everything's going to be screwed up.
Yeah.
And he said, but 18 and older, it's the friendship years.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
He said, what happens is most parents will switch the friendship and the coaching years. They'll try to be their friend in high school. They don't want to be the bad parent. They want to be the cool parent. So they try to be their friend in high school. And then when they get out of high school and they're acting crazy because they weren't coached.
That's good.
Yeah, that is
now
good.
You're trying to coach them when you should be their friend. You're trying to coach, and you understand why so many kids, young adults, 20s, are pushed away from their parents in those what's supposed to be friendship years, because they're trying to coach. And no adult, whether it's your own child or not, wants to be coached, talked to
as an adult.
As an adult.
Yeah.
And so I like the way you said that. We got to be the parent.
Yeah, we got to be the parent,
and not a friend, because friendship comes. It comes. And when I talk to parents about their grown children, like, what do I do in this situation? What do I do? What do I do? Be their friend.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Be their friend. If your friend was going through the same thing that your son or your daughter is going through, how would you act towards your friend?
Yeah.
Well, I would comfort them. Okay, then why are you yelling at your grown kid? Why would you comfort your friend during this time but yell at your grown kid? Well, if your friend did this to you, what would you do? Well, I would cut him off. Okay, well, then why are you enabling your child? Why aren't you cutting your grown child friend off? So anyway, it's tough. It's tough, though.
It is tough. I can say that me and my 14-year-old, it was rough in the beginning. She was very closed off for a long time. And I think it's because of how, her life has been. She's been very reserved. And now she's more open because I discipline, I'm the parent, we do all those things. But at the same time, like, I make sure she knows that door is open to come talk to me about whatever, because she knows I'm going to keep it real.
Yeah.
And with the 19-year-old, with Gabby, man, she really is like she's like my little best friend. I just always try to give wisdom to her. And I'm like, at the end of the day, you're grown, you're going to make your own choices, but we're always going to be here for you regardless. We're just going to try to, help you make the right decision, but she's grown. At the end of the day, she's going to do what she wants. So, she knows that she's always got our line open. She can come over whenever she wants, all that good stuff. So,
how long have you been at the Wayback?
I've been at the Wayback a little over a year.
Okay. Wow, it seems like it's been longer.
I know. I
don't know why it seems like it's been longer.
June of 24.
Okay.
So, yeah, about a year and a half. And it's funny how I even got into the Wayback. Because he mentioned Katie in the beginning, right?
Yep.
So she ran his faith-based dorm with Mr. Reed, right?
Yep.
And
I used to preach over at Hutchins for about a year or two. I'd come in once a month and preach.
Oh, yeah.
Faith-based dorm.
Yeah, so he got out and got connected with her. She actually helped him get into plumbing. And I seen a job, I'd already decided I'm going to do the counseling thing at this point. I'm already in school doing everything. And I seen her put a job opening on Facebook. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to do that, but I'm not qualified. So let me just apply anyways. So I reached out to her and I was like, hey, I'm going to apply, but I'm not qualified. And she's like, okay, girl, do it. So she did, I applied, and then I had my interview with T-Ray and Miss Wilson. And man, I'll never forget that interview because I have never had an interview like that. I mean, it was so just natural, and T-Ray and LaHeather were just so, I mean, welcoming to me. And the questions that they asked were like, you know, what does faith mean to you? What does this mean to you? Like, why are you here? What do you think qualifies you for this job? And I'm like, I have lived experience. I know exactly what they need. I know what they're going through. Like, I want to help people. I want to help women. That's what I went in with. I want to help women. I wanted to help women get their kids back, because at this time I hadn't got Cheyenne back, but I knew that God was going to make a way eventually when the time was right, and I would have that knowledge to feed to somebody else. And then, you know, I tried not to bother Katie, and I was like, hey, status update, what's going on? And she called me, and she's like, okay, or somebody, or maybe it was Miss Wilson, I don't know, somebody called me and told me you got the job, and I went in, and, you know, Miss Wilson really, like, molded me. She taught me the program and exactly what I did, you know, needed to do, and how to handle, because, you know, I come in like, kind of like a tornado. And I'm ready to just do everything. And she really helped me, like, level out the things that I needed to learn to do, and, you know, how to help people, and, you know, with resources and stuff. Right. And, yeah, she really molded me to be able to navigate and do everything that I can do today, and being able to network with people, and going back into the prisons, and yeah, so it's really been, it's been great.
Where do you go when you go back in?
So I have gone with,
give them shout outs.
Hey, Marlin, N1, Hobby, Gatesville. I went to Hackberry not too long ago in June, with Teresa Hornman.
Okay.
So shout out to Buddy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love going into the prisons. I got to go in for the first time. I went to Hobby with Tawanji and Miss Wilson. And it was so surreal. Like, I can't even explain it. It was so weird walking in and seeing everybody be there where I used to be. And I just couldn't help but, like, thinking the whole time, like, I'm going to be able to walk out and they're not. And it was just weird. But it was so humbling, because it's like your life could change in one moment over any choice that you make. And, you know, then I went in with Teresa, and then I went back to Marlin with Tawanji, and every time it's just so powerful, because, like, I just want them to see that, like, it can be done.
Yeah.
You know, life, it doesn't have to be that way. So, yeah.
Drew, what about you? Have you been back in yet?
I've been back one time with Mr. Reed. It's been a couple times. I've been back a couple times with Mr. Reed a few years ago, and I went back to Hutchins. So that was pretty cool. You know, I always tell my wife, man, if I wasn't plumbing, I would do exactly what she does, because she's very inspirational. Like, because I don't know what it is. I mean, like, we just, as a couple, we love helping. Just because we've been there. Like, I might not be in her field, but, like, anytime I see anybody, like, guys that been down too, like, have a record and they work with me, I'm all about giving chances. And yeah, I mean, I've been, when I went back to the same unit I was at, I mean, it didn't get no better than that. You know what I mean? I went back, I think. So I was actually the first TDC dorm when I was incarcerated that they opened up that faith-based dorm. Okay. When I heard about it, I was like, yeah, sign me up. I was trying to get in the chapel, and I was just, man, I need to make parole and all this, but it wound up changing my life for the better. But when I got in there, you know, man, I met Mr. Reed and them. It was amazing. So that that whole experience helped me for the better. It's just that seed, that experience. But when I went back and I shared my story, it was amazing. And so, yeah, I mean, if I had a choice, I would go back more. But I'm just not at this time. I can't. But eventually, I will.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, awesome. Well, what is something that you guys have figured out being a married couple? What is something that you guys have got figured out about marriage? And what I mean by that is like, give some tips on when times are hard in marriage. What do y'all do? When there's disagreements, what do you do? When there's obviously with a blended family, there's going to be disagreements and doubts and questions about disciplinary times and different things. And in our family, there's arguments about food and broccoli and chicken and ice cream, and there's all kinds of arguments. But how does Drew and Cassie approach conflict resolution within y'all's marriage, and what kind of tips can y'all bring?
So, for one, we don't, like, even though we're blended, we don't have, we treat them all the same. Everybody's treated the same, and I think that's very important. When I was growing up, my mom had my sister with my stepfather, and there was so much favoritism. It was unreal. And she knows that to this day. Even my little sister, she's seen it too. But I knew growing up I would never treat my kids like that. And now to this day, I treat all of them the same. Everybody has the same rules. You do this and you do this. It's the same punishment for everybody around the board. Like, there is no, well, let's talk about it and see what's going on, blah, blah, blah. No, we don't do that. It's just the same across the board for everybody. There is no favoritism. When it comes to us, as far as like struggles and, arguments and stuff like that, one thing that I tell myself is, dang, if we were to ever break up, like, what would I do? I don't ever want to be without him. Like, how would I be without him? Do I really want to start over? No. Find the solution. What is the solution?
That's good.
And, that's just really it. Like, we're getting older, and I could never see my life without him anyways. We're just so different, but we have so many similarities, and our marriage is just, we're like a rock. And I think the main thing is keeping God first, staying in the program, because we both work the program. We have sponsors. We just really work through it. There's nothing you can't get through.
Yeah, that's good.
If you feel like you need to, divorce and move on, then I feel like you got to try. If you want it, it'll work. You got to make it work. There's a solution for everything.
You find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
If you're looking for the solution, you'll find it. If you're looking for a problem, you'll find it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. So, that's just me. And honestly, I can say ever since we've gotten sober, we've experienced more trauma and more bad while we were not sober, and we got through that. So if we can get through that, then we can make it through anything in the future.
Yeah.
Because we have God.
That's good.
So, yeah, that's...
What about you, Mr. Cowboy fan?
So, man...
Speaking of disagreements.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as a marriage, I would say, in my opinion, we kind of we base our lives off of recovery, and it's not just drinking. Drinking is just a symptom. That was our choice, because once what I would say is honest with ourselves. Honesty.
That's good.
Honesty. Like, the first step in a marriage is we can't use. Like, we can't drink. Mm-mm. That's the first step. Second step is, once we're clear-minded, I think the biggest thing in our marriage is we're on one accord. Mm-hmm. Like, we're on one accord. So if we're together and we're both sober, I feel like we can handle anything.
Yeah.
Like these little things that life that happens, as long as we're not drinking and we based on what our current situation, we base it off of, man, what could have been? What did it used to be like? So when these little things happen, life, we just kind of handle it because we know where we come from. So I think that has a big impact on how we handle today's problems, because if we went through that, we can get through this.
That's good.
And I think that's the biggest thing is, I mean, obviously with communication, when we start getting into detail about that, but, I think sobriety, man, is what's overrules everything. And once we're clear-minded, we're honest with ourselves, and like she mentioned, we go to church and there's things that we do, but we also are in the 12-step program. We have a structure like sponsors, stuff like that. We use them. That's so good. That's what we do, and we don't just say we do it. We actually use the channels for recovery, and that's how we get through anything. And we're so, I don't think anything could tear us apart as far as marriage-wise. Like, of course, life is going to happen. Yeah. But, like you said, for us, in our marriage, as long as we don't drink.
Yeah.
That's so good.
That's it. Yeah. As long as we don't go drink.
So where do y'all go to church?
So we usually go to Crossroads in Duncanville, Crossroads of Life.
Yeah.
But we were trying to find something a little bit closer, so we started going to Fuego in Red Oak.
Yep.
So we love it over there. We've only went a couple times. I have some friends that...
Now, is that... Okay, so there used to be two churches, one over off of 35 and the one in Red Oak used to be kind of the same church.
The Fuego?
Yeah. There used to be one off 35.
I remember.
One was English speaking, and then the Fuego and
it was off of 35, close to on your way towards Lancaster.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so they shut that one down, and they're just at the Red Oak campus now. Who's the pastor?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know his name. He's young. We've only been there twice.
Okay. This
is something recent that we decided to do. He's young. They do have two services, so they have a morning service that's English, and then they have a afternoon or mid-morning service that's English and Spanish. Gotcha. So, we love it over there, but, we love Crossroads of Life, too. They're amazing over there. That's where his mom goes, so.
How long y'all been a part of that church?
How long have we been going there? A couple years, on and off, probably. Because we were going to, the Oaks. Yeah. We were going there for a while. Yep.
You're hitting all my like we grew up at Trinity right down the street from Crossroads. So we know a lot of the Crossroads people. We've known all the pastors there, the butlers, the Claunches, and I don't know who's the pastor there now at Crossroads.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know his name. I just listened to the word. I don't even know their names. I just listened to the word.
Crossroads, I think they had a really good showing. You've heard of the fine arts that the youth does?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Crossroads had a really good choir.
Yeah.
This year. Had a really good choir.
Oh, we did hear the choir sing, the youth choir sing.
Yep.
Yeah, they're really good. But I love that worship over there.
It's good.
It's good. It's really good. And for me, I love to hear the word. It's powerful, but that worship is what I need to get going to
music.
Receive.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the music. So, love it over there.
How important is it to be a part of a church community for y'all?
I think it's important. There's a lot of people that think you don't got to go to church. But I think fellowship is very important. Maybe if you don't go to a physical church or something, or you're going to, like Bible studies or something like that, as long as you're gathering and...
in community somewhere.
Yeah, yes. In the community somewhere, getting the word, receiving it, and sharing it with other brothers and sisters in Christ.
And I like to even go further, because sometimes church can just be, some people will show up 5 minutes late, leave 5 minutes early, and they're getting, that's not fellowship.
Yeah.
That's not community.
Yeah.
That's just pulling up to a gas station, getting filled up, and then driving off. That's not getting out and going in and talking to the people or whatever. And so I tell everybody, look, if you're in community, that's the most important thing. Even if you're just in a 12-step community, go get around people and fellowship and talk. The more you talk, the more it challenges you to listen to others. And when there's that exchange of dialogue, that's how you grow. That's how people grow. That's how you get stronger. That's how you can weather different things. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
That's how you learn whether there's, you may be unemployed. It's somebody else you meet just randomly at a church or a gas station or a community group or whatever, or 12-step program might be, the owner of somewhere that's hiring. So, so it's important. I that's cool. Crossroads, man.
Yeah. I love it over there.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because like I never thought that we would know people over there. And when we started going over there, he had this GC that ran one of his jobs, and he was kind of hard in the beginning. Like, he was definitely difficult. It was a lot of stress when he first started with this company, 5 years ago? Mm-hmm. And we get over there and we see the GC there.
He's actually a deacon.
He's a deacon of the church. And it's crazy because you just never know. You never know who you're going to meet. Yeah. You never know who you're going to cross paths with. And now they're like that now. I mean, he basically helped develop him into the plumber he is today. And he goes to the church, and then, he invited him to go with him to a Rangers game. So then he goes to the Rangers game, and he starts talking to the other couple that's there, and this lady ends up working for the feds, and she's all about resources.
Wow.
So I was able to connect with her.
Yeah.
It was just, it's just crazy how,
I love how God works.
Yeah. It all ties in together. Yeah, it's good. It's crazy because you really never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
The only thing you know for sure is that if you get around the right people at the right places, doing the right things are going to happen.
Yes.
Right things are going to happen. And substitute that word for right, put wrong in there. And if you hang around the wrong people, doing the wrong things at the wrong places, wrong things are going to happen to you.
Yeah.
They just are. So, well, man, this has been exciting. Is there anything else y'all want to talk about before we close in prayer?
No, I don't think so.
No, we just want to thank you for the opportunity to letting us share our story and
it's a powerful one, man.
I just feel like if we can do it, anybody can do it, and don't complicate things.
Live a simple life.
Keep it as simple and basic as possible, and take away everything one day at a time. Get closer to God, and man, you can do it. Y'all can do it.
Yeah, and for the people that are incarcerated that knows us, great way for them to see like our changed life.
Well, we usually pray at the end, so either one of y'all want to pray?
We'll let you take it.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. Father, we thank you for this, again, for this platform. We thank you for this, the story of your two children, Lord, Drew and Cassie. We thank you for drawing them closer to you over the years, Lord. Just the same way you kept drawing Paul the Apostle to you through different scenarios of life until he was unable to ignore you anymore. And he's changing the world. He changed the world. He's still changing the world today through all the books he wrote in the New Testament. So, Father, we thank you for not giving up on Drew and Cassie. We thank you for not stopping the trying to get their attention. And we thank you for the music that we get to listen to that draws us closer to you, Lord. We thank you for the spirit behind the music that draws us closer to you. And we thank you, Lord, that they have a beautiful family, they have a beautiful story. We thank you for the lives that are changed through their stories, through conversations they have at the way back, through conversations they have at recovery group, through conversations they have with just strangers, Lord. We thank you that their story, their Jesus stories, are transforming lives for the kingdom. And we thank you for that, Lord. We thank you for the lives that'll be changed through the story here on this podcast. Whether in prison, out of prison, Lord, we thank you for everybody listening and watching. And that's gonna do a heart check on themselves and go, you know what? I like what Cassie said. I like what Drew said. and maybe I need to change my music. Maybe I need to change my ways. So, Father, thank you once again for these amazing stories. And we just give you all the glory and praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Yes.
See you next week. Don't let your background hold you back. Make it pay you back.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Background Check Podcast, brought to you by Forgiven Felons, helping people with a past realize their future. For more information, please visit forgivenfelons.org. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and please don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss the latest episode. I'm Jaden Gum, and this has been Background Check.